A lot of business owners I speak to have a very miscued conception of running ads, creating content, and then pretty much generating revenue right off the bat. Their expectations are set to like, okay, if I just create content every single day for the next 30 days, I'm going to be a millionaire. Because this is one of those things, if you haven't done it yourself, the expectations are always through the roof. If you haven't tried something, you always just kind of like have the best case scenario as the expectations, which is not a bad thing to do, but this is something I've also been through as well. I've posted consistently for the next 30 days. I like to call it the 30-day challenge, where you post a video for the next 30 days, or if you run an ads for a month, and then you have this best case scenario in your mind that, okay, everything's just going to pretty much like pop out and be butterfly and flowers, because nobody told me how it's going to be actually like at the end of the 30-day challenge or after the first one of ads. So in this video, I want to make sure that we have a set expectations versus kind of like a reality and the expectations, so we can pretty much kind of like become level head. And the reason for this video is for you to get the best results you need by having the correct amount of output to receive the correct amount of input. And I want you to watch this full video because I want you to get a clear expectations on what the correct input and output is going to be for you, so you have a set expectation of what the required input is going to be, how much time you need, how much tests you need to do, what is the math going to be towards the end of all of this. Because the last thing I would want you to do is stop halfway on something that's supposed to make you a lot of money just because of a very flawed expectation. Think of it as one of those cartoons you see where a person's digging, and then as soon as they stop digging, they're walking back, but it was just a little bit left where they were about to get to that diamond, but they just gave up. And content and ads is literally the same thing. It's your diamond is right over there. You just need to keep digging till you get there. And it is absolutely true, this one. I know there's another cartoon where if you do the same thing, there's kind of like a monster, and then that image is supposed to be it's okay to give up. That one's complete BS. That one's, do not look at that one. The diamond one is a very accurate representation of what I'm about to show you as well. So some of the misconception is posting for 30 days or just posting a video every single day will just make me set. It will just make me a millionaire for life. If that was the case, you would just see way more and more people just making out on a lot of cash just by posting every single day. It's not about the duration. It's about what type of content you're creating, who you're talking to, what are they actually seeing, is there any value in this, and do you have anything to sell on the back? So let's do it the reverse way. Do you have something to sell? If yes, create content around that. For how long? Till as long as it takes. The answer is always unlimited, because if you don't see Trump, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, all these high-level net worth individuals just out of all of a sudden stop creating content because they're like, you know what? Yeah, a billion's good. I'm gonna stop creating content now. It just becomes a part of who you are. And this is something you also have to understand. Like, there's no full stop or period when it comes to content. Ads, sure, like if you have a seasonal business or like if you just don't spend enough money on ads, I don't understand why you would do that, because the whole premise of advertising is to make it profitable so you can run more ads or just grow your market even bigger. So same thing kind of like applies to ads as well. But ads, I guess if you want to stop further down the line, you can just switch that over to organic. But they both kind of like run simultaneously as powerhouses. So if you have this set expectation of like, okay, if I just post for every day, like sales are going to come rocking through. My video is going to get 100,000 views, 20,000 views, 10,000 views. And that can happen, of course, with the right formula, but you also have to understand there's a chance that it might not happen too. So this is why we do what we do. We don't aim for the virality part of it. That is just a bonus that we take. What we aim for is the logical side of it. What you're saying, is that valuable to your audience? Because we can get the traffic. The traffic is not the issue. The traffic can come from the advertising side of things. And even in 2025, like targeting is the most easy thing you can do. Targeting is never the problem. Even you, I'm pretty sure if you're a business owner watching this, you see around 20 to 40 ads on a daily basis. But how much do you like click on all of them? If you're being honest, you only click on like one or two of them. And then if you ask yourself the questions, why do you only click on one or two of them? It's because they resonate with you. It's because you like the creative. It's because you liked something about it. So getting that click on that actual ad is the most important thing you need to optimize for, not the actual targeting. All of people see your ad, but they just don't care about your ad. So you need to make sure they care about your ad in order for them to take the next step. So let's say you're doing a web development services for, I don't know, B2B companies. You're gonna make them like websites using Webflow or something. And you have like a very well-crafted ad. Your ad is structured in a way where you're talking to directly that person. You pretty much give your value proposition to them and you tell them the next steps right within that ad. And if the target market watches this and if they do need a website and they like what this person does because it's directly relevant to that specific individual, they're going to click on the ad or they're going to visit his profile. This is the key element a lot of people miss, is a lot of people will always visit your Instagram profile or Facebook profile, wherever you're running ads, and they will look at your other content. Because think of it this way, and this is something I've also talked about in my last video. If you haven't checked it, it's right over here. This is something you also have to realize, that if you only have 5 followers on your page, or if you have a 50 follower or 200 follower page with like 4 graphic images, and the images are basically like birthday images or like, you know, like Thanksgiving and Halloween or Christmas images, you can't expect conversions from those images. Even images in general don't work anymore. Even if you have the most high quality images on the planet, it's just not going to work without videos. People need to get more information about what you're doing, who you've done it for, so they can make a decision on their end as well. They've already shown interest. They're like, okay, this is a service I need or I might need. That's another keyword, might need. So they'll click a follow on your page and they'll watch your content over time, and then as soon as everything clicks, as soon as the timing is correct, the budget is right, they'll reach out to you again. So you're maximizing every single opportunity you get from every single source. So that's kind of like the power of having paid ads with the content itself. So let's get back to this. So having the misconception of just posting for 30 days will make me set. No, sales happen when timing matches. And as long as your stuff is out there, as long as your ad is out there, as long as your content is out there being seen by people every single day, things will start clicking and your bucket of interested prospects is going to keep filling to the point where you just have consistent sales pretty much right off the bat on an ongoing basis. So some people think it's like, okay, if I get one viral video, I get pretty much clients forever. That is not true either. Depending on which video went viral, let's say a YouTube video went viral. That's of course super powerful and extremely hard to do as well, especially in the B2B side of things. So stop aiming for like one video to go viral and then assuming that translates to client forever, especially on short form content. Like a 30 to 40-second video is not going to do anything for you, especially a singular one. The reality is prospects buy after consuming enough content. That is extremely important. Prospects will only buy after they've enough information. They need to consume enough information for them to buy from you. If they don't have information or if they lack information, they're just gonna go with the competitor because they're perhaps better at portraying information and showing them more stuff on how they can do it better than you. Even though you might be the better option regardless, but just the fact that you fail to express it will mean you will lose the deal. So it's always very important that you give them as much information as you can about your services and products, whether that's with daily posting, whether that's with newsletters, whether that's with anything you can think of. More information, the better. And the next point is, now contrary to that, people say, okay, 1 month of ads will make me rich. And this is especially true for people who have never run ads and they also rely on referrals, which is also my next point, I believe. Like referrals alone will sustain my business. Referrals are fine. Of course, they're the best quality leads. And then if you have them consistently and you can somehow make them predictable, good for you. But referrals, in my experience, are not predictable because you can't just force somebody to get out of a referral unless you have that SOP, of course. But when it comes to running ads, having that expectation of the ads will give me the same quality leads as a referral would, it's going to completely miscue everything that you have in mind. Ads will give you the most coldest prospects on the planet, so that's why you need to give them more information so they become warmer to your services, so the closing ratio becomes higher. So let's say if you're talking to 10 referrals versus 10 cold leads, you might be able to close 80% of the referrals. Like, not even joking. This is something you might be able to do because it came from a trusted source. Somebody kind of like recommended your services, so they're pretty warm to you. A cold lead doesn't know. So as far as they care, they don't even care if you exist. So a cold lead just needs more and more information to the point where even if you can get like a 20% or even 30% close rate, that's good for ads. Because 80% of something that's quantifiable in 10 or 20s is not going to be enough compared to hundreds of thousands and then having a 10 to 20% of that. Because 20% of 100,000 is 20,000. 80% of 20 people or 10 people is 16 clients. So which one are you choosing? So this is where kind of like the math changes, and this is how businesses pretty much scale through the roof. So you need to make sure your consistency because it ensures you're visible when they are ready. So I have this diagram over here as well, the compounding effect of visibility plus the timing of sales. So you just need to keep posting and stacking because you're literally building a whole wall or a full house. Because what a certain timeline does is, let's say you're only posting for 30 days, you're just going to stop halfway. Your house is not done. And people who were about to pull the trigger and buy from you, they just stop seeing your stuff, and the social platforms stop recommending you because you just stop posting, you stop existing online. So very important you take this step by step and then make sure that every single brick aligns with each other. So even these questions I have over here, make sure you're answering all of them within your website or your content, every single place that an audience lands. So a lot of people will land on your Instagram profile. A lot of people will land on your website. So make sure you're answering all of these questions. Like, why do people buy from me? Because I'm XYZ. When do they buy? Oh, so historically people buy after a a week of meeting me. My sales cycle is around like a week or 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks. So when do they buy? How do they choose between me and my competitors? So this is something you can also get data points on as well. Who are your competitors and why are they choosing your competitors over them? What do they have that I don't? And can I achieve that? You'll be surprised, 9 out of 10 times the answer is yes. Just because your competitor has 50,000 followers and you have 50 doesn't mean within 90 days you're gonna have 5,000 followers and literally compete head on with them. Because $50,000 on a very niche market is fine, but they're still using viral tactics, and I can confidently say most of their audience is going to be irrelevant to them as well. As long as you have like a 5,000 core audience of actual buyers, you'll be set. So over here, I have some bullet points for you as well. So post consistently to build presence, be the first option when they're ready. That's the whole premise of this as well. You need to post your ads, you need to post consistently, your ads need to be active, so you're the first option when this person is ready. So whenever you're on sales calls, write down all the list of objections that your clients say, and then use those questions to create content. So that's what this pretty much means, like track the questions, your content answers. So you need to make sure you take those objections that you hear on sales calls on a repetitive basis, and then create content regarding those, because these are literal concerns that your prospects have that they're just portraying over to you when they come to the call. And then last but not least, adjust topics to meet buying triggers. This kind of like overlaps with the second one. So you need to adjust the topics to meet buying triggers. So for let's say you've taken like 20 calls, and I suggest recording all of the calls as well using like Fathom or any note taker. Take all of those 20 scripts and then you can put it into an AI, and then you can literally ask the AI, what are the top 10 most common objections faced? And the AI is going to tell you all the top 10 common objections, and you can just literally make them into a video. So that is all for pretty much today's video. So I have the action steps for you over here. Post consistently to build a presence, run ads, and then avoid disappearing. You lose the battle when you completely disappear off of content and then you turn off your ads. That's when you actually start to lose. Give yourself a set timeline. Give yourself 6 to 8 months. Don't give yourself weeks or a few weeks. Actually put in the work for the next 6 to 8 months. Let the ads run. Increase the budget slowly over time. Track everything mathematically. Create content smartly only towards your ideal customers. And you'll slowly start to notice the benefits and the power it has towards your brand. And if you need help implementing all of this, whether it's creating content and also helping you run ads, we can make this process extremely simple for you. There's a Calendly link in the description. You can book a call directly with me, and then we can chat about how we can perhaps install this exact system towards your business. I'll see you in the next one.